What em say people, what em say? This is your girl Aleisha Lee and welcome back to another episode of Aleisha Lee Reviews. In this episode, we will be reviewing Top Boy Season 4, Episode 3, Little Favour. But before we get into that, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you are kept up to date each and every time I upload. And without further ado, let's get into this review. We start the episode off with some guys at the beach waiting for a delivery to come in. Now they are running into that water, making sure they're getting that delivery, only to be stopped by the police. Yes, one, he is not letting off and he's happy that he's intercepted it. Now Munir was watching from above and could see what was going on. He sees that one has come in and intercepted it, and at first Munir was happy, like, yeah, everything's moving, but out of nowhere, Juan and his police goons come in and just mash up the dance. Now, Munir lets Deshane know the bad news, and obviously Deshane is not pleased at all. He expects Munir to be dealing with this, and he's saying, imagine if this was his proper shipment. They agreed in the last episode they're going to start off with just a little thing, see how things go before they go for the big one, but it's not looking good already. And Deshane, he's not feeling it one bit. Next, we see Jack comes to meet Deshane, and Deshane notices Jack's lip. Now, in the last episode, Jack and her date were attacked as they were on their way home, and we saw that one of them did take her bag as well. Now, Jack, instead of her telling Deshane what happened, she just says, she was sparring, having a little practice, and one of the guys got a bit excited, but we know that isn't the case. Deshane asks Jack to speak to Sully. Now, Jack isn't too sure about it. She does let Deshane know that Sully, he's on a different vibe right about now. He's not really on, mingling with us lot. He's on more of a recluse vibe at present, but Deshane doesn't care. He needs someone to go out there and get things done, and he knows that Sully is the man for the job. Deshane also wants an update from Jack in regards to finding the girl on the CCTV. Jack lets him know that they haven't found this girl as of yet, and again, it's just not going Deshane's way. Like, nothing seems to be aligning, and he needs things sorted out ASAP. As Jack is leaving, he jokes that she should cut out the boxing, but we know what really happened. Just as she leaves, she gets a phone call from her date, and she wants to discuss things. She wants them to discuss maybe going to the police, and that's when Jack loses it. Jack says to her, she's not on no police business, there is nothing to talk about, and don't call her phone again. Next, we see Shelly on her way to see Deshane's mum and some of the other tenants that live at Summer House. They are talking about wanting to take legal action in regards to making sure that this redevelopment does not take place. Shelly says that she's got someone that may be able to help, and Deshane's mum knows exactly what time it is and says, no, thank you. We do not need Deshane's help. This is our fight and we are going to do it without him. Next, we see Jack link up with Sully, and she lets him know that Deshane does want to see him, but again, Sully is not interested. Jack is tired of the politics between Deshane and Sully, and she says to Sully, it must be important for him to have to ask you, so hear him out. But Sully doesn't seem to be too interested. Instead, he asks Jack if she can put him in touch with Shelly, and she says, why don't you ask Deshane? And obviously, he's not impressed. Jack's like, you and Deshane's politics, boy. She's tired. She's tired. We're all tired, to be honest. We are. Next, we see Sully go and meet up with Deshane, but the tension, woo! Deshane and Sully, they have this love-hate relationship, but right now it's in a peak season. Deshane lets Sully know, we've got a problem. Sully's like, we? And he's like, yeah, we, because I'll be sending you bags and racks every week, so yeah, it's a we problem. So Sully kind of had to, tone it down a piece when he heard that. But even then, he said to Deshane, that's all you care about, isn't it? Money, money, money. That's all you care about. The tension is too much between them. Next minute, Deshane gets up. Sully's like, what? Deshane's like, move then. If you're not going to do it, move. Next minute, scuffle. The man, them had to come in, try and break them up. And then Sully left laughing. Deshane's like, you don't want to do it then? Go off then. Deshane had to apologise to Mr. Rob because they try and mash up his calf. Now we are introduced to another new character. This is Pebbles. She was at Delphine's waiting for her uncle to arrive, and he doesn't look very pleased to see her. That's how you know this girl is going to be trouble. Most of these new characters that are coming in, they're quite trouble, isn't it? They are. Oh. They also go on to talk about Sully's daughter, who he hasn't seen in a while, but he kind of shuts that conversation down real quick and starts asking Pebbles, what is she doing here? He knows that it must be trouble as to why she is here. He's like, listen, I ain't got no room for you here. She's like, rude. I wasn't trying to stay here anyway. But she does go on to tell him that she has got problems and she's in a bit of a pickle that she needs his help with. Pebbles explains to Sully that when she was visiting her dad in Jamaica, some guys from Peckham asked her to move a little suitcase for them. I said, this girl. And she says she did not have a clue what was going on. She didn't know what was in the suitcase. As Pebbles would say, them man are taking me for idiot. We're going to see what goes on later on. Deshane lets Jamie know that he is going to be off. He needs someone to be out there and sort this stuff out. I think after an unsuccessful attempt with Sully, he's making sure that someone's going out there and he's sending Jamie. This is very risky, especially after everything that they've been through. But right now, Deshane just is like, listen, you're going out there. The flight's booked for tomorrow. Jamie's like, listen, I got my brothers to look after. Like, I can't just fly out. Deshane's like, are you stepping up? Or what? What's this? You're going. Jack takes a long drive to meet up with Lauren and they are so happy to be reunited. Now remember, Jack did say to Deshane that she's going to be taking a trip with her mum to the hospital, but we knew that she would be going to see Lauren. Obviously, she can't tell Deshane that because he's not going to be best pleased. He would tell her, listen, I thought we dropped her out, but obviously, she needs to see Lauren. Lauren is desperate to see her as well, just to have that familiar face and family around her. And she makes that trip. In this conversation, we find out a bit more about what Lauren's been having to go through with this Curtis geezer. And it is not fun at all. Even during their conversation, he is ringing off her phone. And she makes it clear to Jack that he doesn't like her being out for more than a couple of hours. And I'm like, this is not life. Jamie lets Steph know that he's going to be going away again. And Steph did not take it well, boy. He did not take it well at all. They went to the chippy to get some food and Jamie tried to break the news to him gently, but he did not take it well. Obviously, Jamie's just got back from jail. He doesn't need his brother going away again. He asked him questions about how long he's going away for, where's he going, but he did tell him some and not all. And yeah, Steph just left. Weren't having it. Next, we see Sully approach Pebbles' ex, letting him know the real deal about what's going on because he is the one that took that stuff from Pebbles and basically has put her in this mess. So now, Sully is making sure that he's aware of what is going on and wants the stuff back. Sully gives him a choice to do things the easy way, but the guy says he doesn't know no Pebbles, he don't know no Rashawn, he don't know these people, he don't know what he's talking about. So Sully walks away and says, we can do this another way. Oh, Lord. Kit and Jamie are discussing him having to go tomorrow and Kit is not impressed at all. But Jamie lets him know that they have to get it sorted because at this rate, no one's eating. And if it doesn't get sorted, they're all going to be in the same boat anyway. So it's best that they just work together, get this done so that things can get moving. Jamie asks Kit to watch over his brothers whilst he's away and also look into the Act situation where he starts to really just say like, no, what's the point of looking into that? What, because he's Deshane's guy, we've got to look into that. And he was probably into some dodgy stuff and I'm hearing all of these things about him, people are onto him anyway, so what's the point? But Jamie's like, no, just look into it, done. Jamie lets Kit know how important Axe was to their family because Kit is like, why do you care so much about this guy? He breaks it down. He helped Steph with homework. He's been around from the longest time and they were close. Another thing that I noticed with this scene is that the way that they filmed it, you can see the divide between them. They're on different sides of the fence in regards to how they're feeling about this situation and in general about working with Deshane as well. They're not on the same side, so it was interesting to see the way that they filmed the scene as well. Shelley asked Deshane for a loan to help with getting the report for the summer house residents and, well, he let it slip that he's involved in the redevelopment and Shelley can't believe it. She's asking, where are people like your mum gonna go? He's like, yeah, mum will be sorted. And she's like, what about everybody else? He's like, boy, what can I do? He says that summer house, it needs to be redeveloped. It's for the best that it needs to be done. And he parks the conversation because he needs to make a phone call to Ruben. he sends him a video of the girl that they have been looking for in connection with Ats. Now, she is a MC. She's been doing a few nights, and Ruben's got a friend and he sends that footage over to Deshane in order to continue the search for this girl. Lizzie pops round to Jamie's to speak to him about everything that's been going on and asks Jamie how does it feel to have Deshane as his boss. She then gives him a proposition and says to him that is our business. Deshane's trying to cut us out. If you make one a great offer, then that's going to put us back in business. So she's planting seeds in his head to give him an idea of trying to do another side business away from what they've got going on with Deshane. Next, we see Sully coming for Pebble's ex. And listen, he did give him an option to do things the easy way, and he didn't want to go down that route. So here we are. He eventually gets the food from him, and he lets him know that Pebbles was the one that encouraged him to take it and was telling him he needs to step up. And this is the thing, Sully, he didn't even say anything because he knows his family. Him knowing family, he knows the guy ain't lying there, so he's gonna have a few words with him niece. We end the episode with Ruben getting multiple phone calls from some of his tenants who have just had their homes raided. The police have been asking for Ruben, and he knows exactly what time it is. He gets up, packs some things, goes over to Deshane's house and leaves his baby with Deshane. Lets Deshane know, drop him off at my sister's. And Deshane is just standing there like, what the hell? If Deshane didn't know before, he must concede now that something ain't right when it comes to Ruben, and it's only going to be a matter of time before the police catch up with Ruben, and we all know what that means for Deshane. And that is how this episode ends. My thoughts on the episode. I thought this episode was a good episode. It had a lot going on. Now we know that Jamie is going to be going over to Morocco to find out what's going on over there. So there's just going to be a lot going on, and we're probably going to see in the next episode how that pans out. We also saw great scenes with Jamie and Kit, Sully and his niece, Pebbles, Unks. Yeah, I'm excited for the next episode. I'm going to give this episode 7 boys out of 10. I think this was a good episode. It's giving us some more information about what's going on. We're being introduced to more characters, development in the storyline as well. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. But yes, people, I hope you have enjoyed this review. Let me know how many boys out of 10 you would give this episode. Let me know your comments down below, and make sure you like this video, subscribe for more Top Boy reviews. And if you're into music, inspiration, motivation and entertainment, this is the channel for you. So make sure you subscribe so you are notified each and every time I upload. I will catch you in the next video. Dunno, boy.
People don't know, I just want to enjoy my days.